Hey guys, this is Mikko. In the previous video I showed you how to combine brushes in Procreate 5, and in that video I made this brush using dry brush and Nicoral brush. So I just wanted to challenge myself and see if I can make a whole painting using just this brush. The reason why I thought that this would be a cool challenge for me to try is that if this actually works and if this is a good brush to use, then you can make this brush just by combining those two preset brushes in Procreate 5, and you don't need to do any specific settings. After posting that video, one thing came up in the comments, and it's this new setting in the brush settings menu. So when you have two brushes combined, in the settings you can see them stacked on here on top left, on top of each other. And by pressing this brush itself, you can set which one of these two brushes is the primary brush. So you don't need to make a whole new brush if you want to combine the two brushes in a different order. So you just tap this and set it as a primary brush or a secondary brush, depending on what works the best. And why I say this is these two brushes look very different depending on in which order you set them in the brush settings. When I started painting this, I had really no idea what I'm doing, so that's why the beginning of this painting video looks so colorful, and I didn't want to even finish it before I had some type of an idea of where this is going. But after reducing the colors a lot, I kind of like the colors here, so that gave me some encouragement to see this thing through. But I have to say that it took some time to get used to this brush. But the thing that makes it challenging is also the thing that makes it so awesome. And that is this kind of reiki feeling of the dry brush that you have with the opacity of the Nicoral. So with those two combined, you can make a very light brush stroke and then just have these thin hairline strokes on your painting. And that's a great way to kind of build up different colors, because you see me doing this to all the flat surfaces that I paint in a color and then I paint over it with a slightly different color. And that just builds texture, and also the color seems somehow a bit more vibrant to me when it's built up from these different layers. It's a bit different than using low opacity to do the same effect, because you don't really see the different components, but when they optically blend in your eyes, it somehow, at least to me, looks more vibrant as an end result. The good thing about this brush is also the fact that when I just tap it on the screen, it creates this sort of very textured effect, and I use that a lot in the foreground and in the texture of the dirt road in the foreground, because it's just an easy way to give this illusion of detail, the light hitting the rocks or something to that effect. In the end, I make one more adjustment, and that is by copying the entire layer and then doing a Gaussian blur over the layer. And then I set the layer as a lighten layer, and then I carve out these little bits in the grass or in the areas where I don't want as much texture. And the way lighten layer works is that anything that is lighter on the lighten layer will be visible in the painting, but if it's darker, it won't be visible at all. So that's a great method to kind of fill out these sort of dark holes that are left in some areas where I don't want there to be that much contrast. And I use a layer mask to carve out that lighten layer in just those areas where I want to minimize that very active texture, because while I love the texture of this brush, I don't want every area to scream. You can see the brushstrokes advanced tutorial on my channel if you want to know more about how to use brushstrokes in a painting, or at least my views on it. And that's the painting, I guess. I'm pretty happy with this end result, and remember that you can create this brush yourself by just combining Nicoral and dry brush. This is a channel about painting and creativity, and if that's something you like, feel free to subscribe and press the bell notification button to see whenever I post new videos. I'm Mikko, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!